Hi, hello. I'm recording this in a hotel room after doing Mewtwo raids for 4 hours with my Twitch chat. It's huge. Also, like, just a huge shout out of like everyone who came through and wanted to do Mewtwo. It ends up Mewtwo was a lot harder than people anticipated. There were a couple things I got right, and then a couple things I got wrong from my raid build. So we have 3 updated builds. I'm going to run through them very, very quickly. But we now know Mewtwo's moveset, which is Psy Strike, Aura Sphere, Ice Beam, Rest, and Calm Mind. It only knows 5 moves, which is actually crazy because it has such a diverse move pool. And in Sword and Shield, we saw 2 different Mewtwo's, and they both had multiple moves. So I think the surprise here is... Well, I think that not the surprise was Mewtwo starting with a Raid Shield. I said that in my last video that it was very likely that Mewtwo will start with a Raid Shield, just like the Pikachu did. No surprises that Mewtwo has like a ton of HP. No surprises for me, at least, that Mewtwo was EV trained. I talked about that in my last video too, that the Pikachu was EV trained, so why wouldn't the Mewtwo be EV trained? No surprise that it had a held item. Although I didn't talk about that too much. I wasn't sure what held item they would put on it. So the big twist of this raid is after you break through the shield, which is the same as Pikachu, it's like really tough to break through the shield, but once you break through the shield, then it should quote unquote be easier. Mewtwo will use rest. It will recover its HP. No shield after that, but just normal HP. And then it wakes up instantly because of the berry. The berry part isn't like that huge of a deal. I think it like getting health back after you breaking the shield isn't like the end of the world. I don't think that's the actual problem with the raid. It is like a super fun and cool twist. I think the problem with the raid and why it's so difficult is because when Mewtwo uses Calm Mind, it stacks more than just once. So normally when you use Calm Mind or another raid boss uses Calm Mind, its a special attack goes up by 1 stage and its special defense goes up by 1 stage. So when you're using in combination like 3 Pokemon using Struggle Bug, ideally, Mewtwo goes down to -3. He uses Calm Mind. It goes up to -2, but it's still -2, which is really good for you. In this situation, when it uses Calm Mind, it jumps all over the place, anywhere between going up just 1 stage to possibly going up 4 stages. And I know this happens in both NPC raids and in group online, so it's not because they're real players or because they're NPCs. I'm not sure what triggers. I don't know why I'm talking with my hands so much. I'm not sure what triggers that. But that in itself makes the raid difficult. Now, some people think that that's a bug with the game. There are other raids that actually do this currently. The 6-star Dragonite raid does the same thing. When it Dragon Dances, it will go up by 4, which can make that raid a little bit harder than other 6 stars. So this isn't a new thing. And also, just as like a side tangent, if I'm allowed to rant at 11:42 p.m. when I'm making this video in a hotel room, it's so wild to me that Pokemon fans will point and say that Pokemon is designed for kids and it's this kids game and it's way too easy. And then I saw so many adults do the raid once, fail it, and then say it's just too hard. Or it's broken. So I failed, so it must be broken. Like, I would challenge Pokemon fans to play other games that are not Pokemon. Like, I used the example during my stream. Like, the first time I did Vault of Glass, we battled, like, I was with 5 random people because it was like a group thing. First time I've ever done a raid. First time a lot of people ever did a raid in Destiny 1. And it took us 3+ hours to beat Atheon, which is 1/5 of that raid. Like, there are 5 parts to that raid, and the Atheon part, which is the final part, took 3+ hours. And we kept failing, and slowly we got better and we got better. And it was cool in today's stream of that happening, of like, okay, our strategy works, but it's not working as good as it did on paper. How can we slowly tweak it? And how can we tweak it over time to make it easy? And that's like the best part to me about raids. In not only Pokemon, but in like Final Fantasy 14 or in Destiny, or there's other games that have raids. I just can't think of them right now, but they exist and they're cool and they're meant to, just because you fail once is not that big of a deal. Look, your LinkedIn is going to survive. You don't have to tell your LinkedIn you failed Mewtwo like 3 times before you caught him. It's not that big of a deal. I took the 3 raid builds that we worked on last week and we just slightly tweaked them. And they're much, much better. And the cool thing about these raid builds is that they all do a specific thing. I think the raid builds that I originally released, no, I don't think anyone could have predicted the Calm Mind being so powerful as it is during this raid. I think that's what, again, I said this earlier, I think that's what throws this raid off and makes it a lot more difficult than what it should be on paper. That's fine. The computer cheats all the time. While the old raid builds could work, and we were getting closer and closer every time with the original raid builds, I think the original raid builds were asking too much for a single player. With revamping these 3 raid builds, it's really telling that player, be like, this is your job. You don't have to worry about anything else. As long as everyone's doing the right thing, this is your job. It's not too complicated. It doesn't feel like I don't know what button to press next. They're a lot more simpler, and that's good because, boy, the amount of times I've had to tell people in the last 4 hours that you cannot taunt when the raid shield is up. You've never been able to taunt with the raid shield up. It's been 9 months of this game. You still cannot taunt with the raid shield up, and that's okay. Simple is better. We'll get through it. If there's any takeaway from this video, you cannot taunt when the raid shield is up. You just can't do it. You also can't use a Thunder Wave and whatever other status type move. Let's talk about the support build. My original support build had Reflect. In my original video, I said, hey, if there's no physical moves, we can drop Reflect for Acid Spray, Struggle Bug, Helping Hand, whatever you want. There's no physical moves here. There is some confusion about how Light Screen and Reflect works. I'll just clear this up. While Psy Strike does use your defense stat, it is still a special type move coming from Mewtwo. So having Light Screen up does reduce the damage of Psy Strike, even though it's looking at a different stat. Reflect does not affect Psy Strike. Reflect was there only in case Mewtwo had like Ice Punch or Brick Break or Avalanche or whatever. So he doesn't have any of those moves. So Light Screen is still there. The Light Clay will let Light Screen last for 5 turns. So just starting with the support build, if you are the support build Mew, you are always going to start off with Light Screen, and then you're either going to lean into Struggle Bug or Life Dew. And honestly, your main job as the support Mew is keeping everyone alive, which is spamming Life Dew and Light Screen every 8 turns. You can count that. Like, you can press the Y button, you can go in, you can see how many turns left for Light Screen. So you have like 2 really simple jobs, and one of those jobs, which is Light Screen, you probably have to do twice the entire match. You Light Screen turn 1, and then you Light Screen on turn 8 or technically 9 when it resets. And then you heal in between. You can use Struggle Bug, absolutely. If everyone has like full HP or they're very healthy, Struggle Bug. And then the other thing we're giving this Mew is Taunt. Once again, you cannot taunt when the raid shield is up. So for over half of this match against Mewtwo, you will not hit that taunt button because the raid shield will be there. You will taunt after the raid shield breaks. You will taunt, and then that lasts for 3 turns. So again, just like this is great. This is why we put the taunt with the light screener, because you can press Y, you can check your light screen, and you can check your taunt. So you're healing, and then you're taunting. You're healing, you're taunting. You're healing, you're taunting. Super easy, right? And the great thing about the support Mew is you do not need to Tera at all. Just don't Tera. If you have Tera Water, don't do it. If you have Tera Steel, don't do it. Just stay as Mew. The main reason for that is because Psychic resists Psychic, and Mewtwo loves to spam Psy Strike. So you are resisted, and you're not taking as much damage. If you do decide to Tera to Steel, yes, Steel does resist Psy Strike, but Mewtwo will switch over to Aura Sphere, and that will be super effective. So again, the support Mew is perfect for somebody who got a bad Mew Tera type. You're the healer, you're going to light screen, you're going to taunt after the raid shield is up. Cool. Moving on to the technical build, the build that doesn't really do that much damage, but does a little bit of everything in between. My favorite build. Now, this build initially had the Assault Vest. I expected more special moves. I expected Ice. Well, I did have Ice Beam. I expected Ice Beam. I expected Flamethrower, Dark Pulse, Shadow Ball, Psychic. It doesn't have any of those. Well, it has the Ice Beam. It has Psy Strike, and it loves to spam the Psy Strike. So Assault Vest gets ignored by Psy Strike because Psy Strike looks at the defense stat. Assault Vest boosts your special defense stat. So, like I said, Light Screen does work. Assault Vest is not here. So we're dropping the Assault Vest. And we're actually dropping Pollen Puff, and we're just going into Leech Life to get health back. You're not going to do a ton of damage because this is not a main damage dealer, but you're the technical build. So what's happening here is you're struggle bugging. This is what you're probably going to lead off with. You have pounce. So kind of like the light screen user, they light screen once and then the light screen again about 8 turns later. You're actually going to pounce once. That is going to lower Mewtwo's speed by 1 stage, and then every single Mew will outspeed it. I have explained why this was important in my last video. It does work perfectly here. It is really good to outspeed Mewtwo in this raid. And you only have to hit it once, and then you hit it again, actually around the same time the light screen user hits it, because Mewtwo will reset its stats. You will pounce one more time, and then you'll be flipping between Struggle Bug and Leech Life. Honestly, you're going to want to just spam Struggle Bug until Mewtwo's -6, and then go to Leech Life. And you'll notice that there's Taunt on this one too. So the main reason that Taunt is on here twice is just to ensure that this actually happens. As long as somebody is taunting every 3 turns, it is almost impossible to lose this, because you're preventing Mewtwo from using Calm Mind, and you're struggle bugging it so it can't increase its special attack. So you're literally in winning position when this happens, because he's going to continue to spam Side Strike, and it's literally going to do nothing because he can't increase his special attack anymore, and his special attack should be -3, 4, 5, 6, however many struggle bugs you did. So you're just going to struggle bug him into the ground and have Taunt. Now, why do 2 different Pokemon have Taunt? It's just possible that the healer could need to set light screen and or need to heal, and on a turn that they need to taunt. So this is what we were talking about earlier, that sometimes you have too many things that you need to do, and that's when the raid falls apart. We have taunt just twice because it is important to prevent Mewtwo from increasing its stats. So it's just nice in this instance. My ideal, my perfect setup, I guess, would be 1 support, 1 technical, and then 2 attackers. So the technical has the speed control, the special attack control, and then a little bit of damage and a little bit of health getting back. The nice thing about these Leech Life users is that it actually alleviates the amount of life dews that the life dew Mew has to spam. We ran this with a bunch of different people. I tried a bunch of different held items. I moved some EVs around, and honestly, when 2 attackers, 1 technical, and 1 support all line up together, it is such a smooth experience. And it's really great, and it makes this raid like, oh wow, like that's way easier than it seemed 2 hours ago. Like, why didn't we do this in the first place, kind of thing. Okay, so to make the raid even easier, we're going to go to the attack build. So the attack build is Leech Life, Struggle Bug, very familiar. Those are on the other builds. And then Swords Dance, and finally Electric Terrain. So this one's probably like the most different because we got rid of Acid Spray, we got rid of Pollen Puff. So because Mewtwo is increasing both its special attack and its special defense, it's really hard to manage both of those at the same time. Again, Calm Mind is doing something that it's traditionally not supposed to do, but also traditionally a Pokemon's not supposed to attack you 3 times in a row. It does in this game. The raid bosses just kind of do what they want. So, you just accept it. If Decidueye wants to Swords Dance twice and then Brave Bird you, that's what happened during that raid. In this raid, Mewtwo Calm Minds, and it's like he did it 4 times in a row, but he only did it once. So we just accept that. So in this situation, there's actually a play style here. This is the attack, so this is going to do the most damage. Let's explain what's happening. So if we lean into an attack build, we can just ignore the special defense boost, and then we only have to worry about its special attack, which we can control just fine with Struggle Bug. The reason we're using Struggle Bug over Snarl is because Struggle Bug has 100% accuracy. Snarl has 95% accuracy. So if you've ever played a Pokemon game, you know that 95% accuracy is really 50% accuracy for you, and it's 100% accuracy for the NPC computer. That's just how Pokemon games work. That's how RNG works. You have the worst luck, computer has the best luck. So that's why we're using Struggle Bug over Snarl. So ideally, this is a really easy, it's really easy to play the attack. It's really easy to play all of these, I think, after I've explained it. So with the attack build, you are just going to struggle bug 3 times. That is going to get you to terrestrialization. That is also going to reduce Mewtwo's special attack stat because struggle bug. And then at that point, I actually wouldn't terrestrialize. If you watch my old raid builds, I'm usually terrestrialize right away because you want to break that shield. But you're limited on leech life. So again, another important thing, we'll see if you've made it this far, if you made it to this hot tip, please comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Tell me if you beat Mewtwo with something different. That's cool. There's lots of Pokemon that could work, but the reason we want to use Mew is because we want that mark on Mew. Plus, Mew is actually really good when we structure it the way we did. The secret thing here is PP max your leech life, PP max your life due. Just PP, like if it's a move with 10, PP max it. If it's like 20, 25, 30, you're fine. You're not going to use 30 struggle bugs. If you are, something terribly wrong has happened. So you're going to struggle bug 3 times. You're then going to swords dance 3 times. You're not going to terrestrialize until turn 7. Now, I know this is probably very backwards compared to what I've said in past videos, but the reason you're doing that is, one, we know Mewtwo doesn't clear your stats until its raid shield gets to 50%. So Mewtwo will clear your stats. You'll probably see it twice, but he can do it up to 3 times. He's going to clear his stats exactly when the raid shield gets to half. His raid shield gets to half. So you're limited on leech lives. 16 is more than enough. But you don't want to just waste them when you can, save them in case something goes wrong in the later half. So struggle bug 3 times, swords dance 3 times, then you terrestrialize. Part of the reason why you don't terrestrialize right away is because Mewtwo will continue to side strike you, and as a psychic Pokemon, you resist that. So when you struggle bug 3 times and then terrestrialize, you're actually changing to a neutral type. Bug does not resist psychic, so you're actually taking more damage than you need to when we just know that Mewtwo is going to side strike you. So struggle bug 3 times, swords dance 3 times, terrestrialize, leech life. That once that raid shield gets to half, he's going to reset your stats. You're going to swords dance 3 times, although depending on your teammates, you might need to struggle bug before you start your swords dance journey. Just be cautious, see what your teammates are doing. If you need to struggle bug once or twice, that's fine, do that. It's only going to help everyone else out. After that, when Mewtwo is about 2 to 3 hits away from shield breaking, and you'll tell because you're the attacker, so you should know how much damage you're doing, you're going to set electric terrain. So when electric terrain is up, no Pokemon is allowed to sleep. So when that shield breaks, Mewtwo will try to rest. Resting will fail. And now you just saved yourself 50% of its HP, and it doesn't go up. And this is something that we've had to adapt for, right? Like nothing of our prep video last week could prepare us for this. And we figured it out, right? Like this is the coolest part about raids, is figuring out the puzzle to the raid. It's really exciting. It's really great. So we're putting this on the attacker, even though it's not an attack, because everyone else is doing other stuff. Other people are struggle bugging, other people are helping, other people are making sure light screen is up. So I thought it was perfect for this Pokemon to just, you're only hitting it once throughout the entire raid. You'll never hit it again. You will only hit it right before the raid shield breaks. Do not wait. It's okay to set it a turn or 2 early, or even 3 turns early, because it lasts 5 turns. So be cautious, pay attention to your teammates. If it looks like it's getting close, set that electric terrain. Once that breaks, he's going to reset stats. He's not going to be able to sleep. He's going to be at half health. That's when the other player will taunt, and then you will start your swords dance journey one more time, and then you will finish it off with leech life. And that's pretty much it. Now, item we're using on both this and the technical build is you could either use insect plate or the silver powder. They're the same thing. They just increase bug type moves by 20%. And that's it. I saw some people using metronome. It's not worth it. We've already tested it. Metronome does no increase the first turn, 10% the second turn, 20% the third turn, 30% the fourth turn. You will never get past that. Silver powder is 20% turn 1, 20% turn 2, 20% turn 3. You will just do more damage with silver powder. I've done this a ton of times. I've watched other people do it. because of how the damage structure happens, you're always going to get reset at a certain point, and or you're going to either have to taunt it, you're going to have to electric terrain it, you're going to have to go off course. Once you change your move, Metronome is not going to work anymore, and there's not a good point in that raid, unless everyone's doing anything for you, that you're just going to spam Leech Life. Like you have to reset Swords Dance at least twice in this raid, and every time you start your setting Swords Dance, you're breaking that Leech Life. So just use Silver Powder. It's way simpler. It will stack with your Struggle Bugs. It will stack with your Leech Lives. The other possibility was Big Root. I don't think Big Root is worth it either. You're getting so much health back from Leech Life that you do not need Big Root. So I think the best item here is just the Silver Powder. I think Metronome is actually hurting you. I think it's kind of a waste. It's so situational here. Silver Powder is just consistent, and that's what you want. You just want consistency. So I think that's it. I'm not going to highly edit this. I think I talked a lot. It's now 12 o'clock. We beat Mewtwo multiple times. If you haven't beat Mewtwo, don't worry. It's here for 2 weeks. I'm in Seattle right now at the PAX convention. When I get back, I'm going to help as many people as I can get through Mewtwo. We got 2 weeks of Mewtwo, so don't freak out. If it's too hard, that's okay. Build one of these and come over to the Twitch stream, and we'll help you do it. Except you gotta wait till I get back, because I'm here and I gotta finish my meetings here, and I only have it's very hard to stream here. I was able to stream for 4 hours, and then the hotel throttled me. So, it is what it is. So when I get back, we'll do as many Mewtwoos as possible. I'll make sure everyone gets their Mewtwo. And to everyone who helped, we got over 20, 30 people got their Mewtwoos tonight, either with my help or other people in chat's help. So, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, comment below, and between my meetings, I will try to answer your questions or help you out. But yeah, I think it's a really fun raid. I really like it a lot. I thought it was really fun to learn the puzzle. So maybe not the best raid to grind for materials, but I think it was still a cool experience. So I liked it. But if you didn't, I get it. But we'll help you get your Mewtwo. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye.